Namaste to everybody. Welcome to this 5th annual festival of Oneness, celebrated on the occasion of Adi Shankara Acharya Jagat Din. We will start the session by chanting the mantras. Om Shri Guru Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. To start with, I will chant two most important stanzas of Shankaracharya's Adi of Advaita philosophy. Shlokardena pravakshyami yaduktam granthakotivih brahma satyam jaganmithya jivo brahmaiva naparaha kim yotistava bhanumana hanime ratrau pradipadikam Syadevam ravidipadarshana vidau kim jyotirakhyāhi me chakshustasya nimilanadi samaye kindhir diyo darshane kintatrahamato bhavan paramakam jyotistadasmi prabho. Today we are fortunate to have Bhuvaneshwari Lakshminarayanan as the speaker and who is the speaker and performer. She delivers discourses on Vedic texts, Puranas, Itihas, and Upanishads in Tamil, Hindi, Sanskrit, and English. She has regularly appeared on Makkal TV as a part of their religious and cultural programs. Bhuvaneshwari ji has performed at various venues, including Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Ratnagirishwar Temple in Basantanagar, as well as the Vedapalani Murugan Coil and the Chembur Fine Arts in Mumbai. Her topics have included Durga Saptashati, Sri Rudram, Chamakam, Sandhya Vandanam, and Bhagavad Gita, Shivaratri, Krishna Janmashtami, and Avani Avittam. She has also offered Hindi Tamil translation services for Bhashanam delivered by His Holiness Purindareshwar Srimad Jagadguru Shankaracharya Swami Nishchalananda Saraswati. In addition to her speaking engagements, Bhuvaneshwari ji is a Bharatanatyam dancer and a disciple of Kalai Mamani ji, and is a Kalai Mamani ji, Srimati Roja Kandan. She has completed her MA in Sanskrit and she is now pursuing CA final. Over to you, Bhuvaneshwari ji.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Namassabhabhyah Sabhapatibhyascha Vagarthaviva Sampriktau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwaro. At the outset, I congratulate Indika Moksha for having arranged this month-long series celebrating Shankara Jayanti and Oneness. And I extend my gratitude from the bottom of my heart for having provided me an opportunity to be a part of this wonderful series. Thank you, Shriman Sanjeev, for introducing me. And I feel really honored and blessed to be addressing such a divine and profound gathering. I find the best way to start this Upanyasam would be with the verse of Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, which explains the concept of mutuality. Devan bhavayata nena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattana pradayebhyo yo bhunkte stena eva saha. He says there is a mutual relationship between the devas and the whole of humankind. The humans conduct the Vedic sacrifices and offer Havirbhaga to the devas by uttering Swaha and offer Havirbhaga to the Pitras by uttering Swadha. The Devas and Pitras are pleased They take it, consume it, it strengthens them, and in return, shower the humankind with all prosperity, abundance, growth, knowledge, blessings, etc. An extension of this mutuality is also seen in our reality. We want a beautiful home built for us. We approach the contractor, building contractor, pay him the money, and then we go to our new home. We pay taxes to the government, and in return, we get good infrastructure, roads, safety, or at least that's we're supposed to get. We want to buy clothes. We go to the shop, pay money, and then here we go, we get our clothes. We want to use the public transport, go get the ticket from the ticket counter, and then use it. So most of our needs are simply satisfied by the operation of mutuality in this society. However, can this mutuality be a one-stop solution for all our problems, for all our needs? Let us ponder. Suppose a person loses something very important, let's say a document or a piece of jewel. He searches everywhere and he is not able to get it, and he grieves over it. Now another person comes and says, okay boy, what is this? Get over it. Huh? Why cry over spilt milk? Maybe it was not even destined to be here. Think it is a good riddance. He says something that way. And the person who actually lost that particular item, he is already in grief and he doesn't want to hear again these things. So he says, oh please, Vedantam pesada. Don't speak Vedanta. So knowingly or even unknowingly, people actually understand that Vedanta is a part and parcel of their daily living. Let's take another example. Quite a sad one, or not that of a great example, but we need this to understand the role of Vedanta. A youngster goes out and unfortunately meets with a tragic accident and passes away. Now the family is brooding over his death. They are caught in gripping grief. Here, they are perturbed and disturbed by so many things, and so many questions flood their mind. What if he had not gone out that day? What if the brakes in the lorry had actually worked? What if the roads were good? And then the elder person again says, it's okay. What can we do right now? This is nothing but the play of destiny. Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra was confronted with a similar situation wherein he had to face his own guru, his cousin brothers, his family, his friends. He said, Krishna, I have lost all the urge to war. I cannot be the killer of my own guru, of my own family, kin and kith, my own blood. No, I cannot be the killer of these people. I don't even want to wage this war. Dhritarashtra rane hanyu. Let the sons of Dhritarashtra come and kill me. I'm ready for that, he says. Krishna says, cool down, my boy, cool down. He says, Dronam cha bhishmam cha jayadratham cha karnam tathanyanapi yodhaviran maya hatam stvam jahima vyatishta yudhyasvajeta sirane sapatnan. Why are you worrying, my child? Drona, Bhishma, Karna, so many great warriors that you actually are facing right now. I have already killed them. Maya hatamstvam. They have been killed by me. Now whom are you going to kill? What are you talking about? And therefore, tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham mayaivaite niyata purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin. And my child, therefore, get up. Go. Get prosperity. Be the victor. Win your enemies. Enjoy this kingdom. And just be the proximate cause. Nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin. There is a beautiful proverb in Tamil that very aptly captures this scene. It says, Kaka ukandu pananga viழுந்துதான். There is a huge, big, juicy fruit there, ripened. It's almost going to fall. At the moment of its fall, a crow comes and sits on the branch. To the onlookers, it looks as if the crow, with its might of its claw, has made the fruit fall down. Now, people who have studied the nature of the fruit and the tree, they will say it's because of the ripened nature of the fruit, it's naturally going to fall down. The other people, just the onlookers, they will create proverbs as such. Vedantis, the ones who dwell in the Vedas also, they will say, Uruva rukamiva bhavandhanat. Just like a ripened cucumber separates itself from its parent tree at the right moment, one should separate himself from the clutches of bondage and be free and be mrityunjaya. Here, Krishna says, what is the ultimate cause of the fruit to fall? That it's a ripened nature. And the proximate cause was just the crow coming and sitting on the branch. Likewise, the ultimate cause of their death is their own karma. Leave that to them. You simply be the proximate cause. You are going to just put arrows on a dead snake. Don't worry. You are not going to be the killer. You are not the killer. You cannot do good. You cannot do bad to anybody else. Atmaivahi atmano bandhu atmaivahi ripuratmanaha. Deriving the same reasoning to these given examples, the destiny of that person was sealed. And the proximate cause was the lorry brakes not working or the roads being bad. So in every step of our life where we face problems, mutuality actually is not sufficient. We need something more. We need reasons to our problems that Vedanta provides us with. And something more than that also. We are not satisfied with just reasons. We need solutions to overcome that problem, which is also provided by Vedanta. Vedanta is primarily contained in the Prasthana-traya, Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. Different sages have interpreted the same Vedanta in broadly classified into Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and Advaita. And today we will be looking at the Advaitic interpretation of the Vedanta provided by Adi Shankara Bhagavadpadacharya, which is an elixir to today's problems. Shankara, when he gave his Advaitic solution to the problems, definitely kept his corporate leader in mind alive. What do the corporates say today? There's no time. Come on, keep it short and simple. Make it quick. Deliver an elevator pitch. Present your case in just 2 minutes. Shankara outperforms the 2-minute challenge and delivers his answer in about Brahma Satyam Jaganmithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. In less than 3 seconds, he delivers the answer. Now it has taken books and books, debates upon debates to analyze this 3-second answer. We will try to decode and apply and relate this solution to problems. Brahma Satyam Jaganmithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Line states that the Brahman, this Jagat, is falsehood. Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. This Jiva is not different from the Brahman. So from this, we get to understand that there is one entity which is the truth, that which is known as Brahman. Advaita provides us with standard examples which helps us understand this 3-second answer. The concept of Rajussarpaha. From a distance, someone sees something long and imagines and thinks it to be a snake. When the person gets closer and closer and has finer insights into it, he understands that, oh, it's not a snake, it's rather a rope. So there is the superimposition of a snake on a rope, this exactly being called Maya. So how will the Jiva realize that it is actually Brahman? Only when this block, when this wall of Maya is knocked down, will the Jiva be able to completely understand that it is nothing but Brahman itself. Is there a difference between the water of the waves and the water of the oceans, they're nothing but one and the same. Form and functions differ here and there. There is a beautiful story, Dwasuparna, from Mundakopanishad, which explains the theory of Ishvara and Jiva. The individual is compared to that of a tree, and in that individual reside two entities called as bird Ishvara and bird Jiva. So this bird Ishvara is sitting at the topmost branch and looking down at the bird Jiva, which is seated at the lowermost branch. This bird Jiva hops from branch to branch to branch, tastes the fruits of the branch. Some fruits are sweet, it enjoys pleasure. Some fruits are sour, it's an agony. Oh, no, I don't like it. So there is a roller coaster of emotions that this bird Jiva experiences. And slowly it has now reached the topmost branch and finally merged with bird Ishvara. And at that moment, it realizes that there was no bird Jiva at all. So when this realization takes place, that the Jiva realizes that it is one with the Brahman, it realizes there was never once a Jiva at all. The world is false, Jagat is mithya, and what is true is Brahman. So if Brahman is only the truth, then there definitely, when the realization has happened, we understand that there was no Jiva. Like the bird Jiva understood that there was no other bird except that bird Ishvara. Another concept of Advaita is that the waking state, the dreaming state, and the deep sleep state are one and the same. Jagrat swapna sushuptishu sputatara. Same. How is it so? Let us find out. So there is a person who is in sound sleep and also dreaming. And in his dream, he's being chased by thieves. He runs for his life here and there, screams. And just when the climax is going to take place, his alarm rings and he opens his eyes, gets up with a start, and also reassures himself. He leaves a sigh of relief. Appa, this was just a dream. It was not the truth. He is not being chased by thieves right now. So it was merely a dream. The moment he has opened his eyes, he understood that it was just a dream. So the dream ceases to exist when you open your eyes. When the dream doesn't exist, where is the problem of the dream? So, when Shankara says that the waking state, the dreaming state, and the sleeping state are one and the same, what is meant? When the Jnana Chakshus will open one day, when that realization will take place, when the realization of Jiva will take place, when the self-realization will take place, that time, the Jiva, when its Jnana Chakshus are opened, it will realize that all that it had lived, all the life that it had lived was nothing but a dream, meaning mithya, meaning illusion. So when the world that we actually thought to be true, now having understood that it is false, the world itself ceases to exist. Now, if the world doesn't exist, where are the problems of the world going to exist? Having realized the Brahman, having realized that Jagat is false, so there are no problems of the Jagat. There is no world, so where are the problems and even pleasures of the Jagat? There are no problems, nor are there pleasures of the world, because anyway, world is false. Why should the person break his head in trying to solve non-existing problems? But a person can reach this level of bliss only after having achieved realization. Till then, we are living in this world and we need to solve problems that we face on a day-to-day life. Most of the problems that we come across are on account of targets set and not met, A, and B, wrong definition of success. For example, in the corporate world, 100 employees, 200 eyes are eyeing for the seat of that managing director post. Now, it is for sure that 99 people will get home disappointed. Now, what has this material target brought upon? 1. Misery to the 99 people. Number 2. Further misery on account of sustenance. Number 3. Furthermore misery as greed is the growth driver. The person who has gotten the managing director post, he wants more and more. As the fire consumes the ghee, it wants more and more ghee. Same way, the desires, when one fulfilled, is replaced by another and after another, keeps going. This is the sad reality of a materialistic target. What is Shankara's solution to this? He says, let us change our target. The target should be self-realization. Now, if our target is self-realization, what are the benefits that one person is going to get? 1. 100% success. Where is this guaranteed? In Mukha Panchashati. Jantostava pada pujana santosha tasya kamakshi bandhoyati bhavati punaha sindhorambassu babhramiti shila. Here, Shankaracharya, a descendant of Adi Shankaracharya, who was once a Mookan, meaning a dumb boy, with the blessings of Kamakshi, he became a poet and also ascended the throne of Shankaracharya. He says, attainment of success in self-realization is as normal as a stone sinking in water. When is that going to be a surprise? Only when the stone stays afloat is it going to be a surprise. So, it will be a huge surprise only when your devotee Kamakshi, even after surrendered unto your feet, is not liberated. That is going to be a big surprise. So, he has just simply normalized attaining self-realization as if it were a stone sinking in water. It's as casual as that. So, success rate in this pursuit, in the pursuit of self-realization, is 100%. Number 2, only one person can become the managing director. But here, each soul is potentially divine, and the goal is to manifest that divinity within by controlling nature, internal and external, in the golden words of Swami Vivekananda. Each soul is potentially divine. Everybody is a winner. Nobody goes home empty-handed. There is no loser in this game. Everybody is a winner. While pursuing material targets, we have to beat the other person, in the sense, perform better than the other person. We go to temples and pray, he should perform. He should not perform that good. I should be better than him, or he should fail. He should be killed. All such negative supplications we make in front of the gods, which again leads to the cultivation and growth of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. But in the spiritual game, what happens is that we are our own competitor. There is no other competing fellow whom we have to perform better than. So we have to just perform better than our own selves. At our own pace, we can take up this goal and definitely achieve it. Another problem in the corporate universe is that lakhs and lakhs of employees are subjected to this 5-bucket assessment. All of them, their performance parameters, is force fit into simply 5 buckets: 2 above average and 2 below average. So, an employee who is performing really well is on par with a moderately performing employee. Seeing this, he feels dejected. I do a lot of work. He does something barely half of mine. But both of us are placed on the same stature. Then the good employee loses motivation. Why should I work so hard? Anyways, I'm going to get this only. And then he does not work well. And then the efficiency rate falls down. And then we will have people telling that the universities are not able to churn out good graduates and work for 70 hours a week in the office. Why such a hustle bustle? So here, whereas in contrast to this, what does the spiritual reality give us? It says, how many ever pursuants are there? So many levels. So if there are 100 people going to pursue the spiritual game, there are 100 levels. That means you are at your own level. I'm not going to be judged for my performance. Nobody else is going to rate me or force fit me into 5 buckets. Nothing. I can do everything at my own pace. And I can also be very sure that at the end, at one point, I'm going to achieve what I started for. Having said this, we get to another problem which keeps the city of New York awake: share markets. Let's assume that the share prices are moving in the increasing trend. So, a person who has bought the shares recently, he's very happy and proud. Wow, my investment is amazing. It's growing great. And the person who just sold the shares, he feels a sense of betrayal. Just now, right now, the share price had to increase when I have finished selling them. Now, what is the cause of their sadness and happiness? Upon analyzation, we understand that the movement in share price is not the ultimate cause, that's the proximate cause, but their attachment, their position with respect to the shares have caused their happiness and sadness, respectively. So, what is Shankara's solution to this? He says, move away from this. When you want to move away from the West, we need not necessarily concentrate on moving away from the West, moving away. We just have to turn our heads towards the East. Move towards the East. Incidentally, the West is gotten rid of. So when we tweak our goals towards a spiritual target, then all worldly pleasures and pain will incidentally get rid of. As humans, we feel jealous, right? Our friend is very wealthy. He has bought a beautiful flat in a very posh area, superb furnishing, amazing interior designing. Whereas we have our house located in some suburb. It's fairly a good house, operational, but not as royal as that house. So we feel jealous. Why? Because my friend has something very nice that I don't have. But one thing we should realize, even that friend be Mukesh Ambani, even if Mukesh Ambani comes out, let that friend also come out. Let us also come out of the house. Let one beggar also come out of the house. The sun is the same. Air is the same. Water is the same. The sun shines equally on the Ganga and on the gutter. So, why is the location a botheration? Wherever you are, the location is not going to be the determining factor of our happiness or sadness. So we should realize that any x coordinate, y coordinate on this earth is not going to be the factor that determines happiness and sadness. So there is something else that determines our happiness and sadness. And Krishna gives the answer for this. Shaknoti haiva yasodhum praksharira vimokshanaat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha. A person not with n number of cars, 3-4 flats. No. A person who exercises control over his desires and anger is the person who is happy. And the degree of control and his happiness are directly proportional. Not that he advises us to be completely desireless. No, he says you have your desires. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi Bharatarshabha. But remember, not all desires. You can have desires, but only those which are righteous in nature. And I am the very form of those desires. I am the very form of those desires which are dharmic, which are righteous in nature. Rama's anger was correct when he showed it on the sea god. That was rightful indignation. He prayed to the sea god for 3 days to asking him to provide a solution to cross the sea. But then the sea god kept mum. And that was the end of Rama's patience also. He took his Ramabana and said, "This minute you are giving me a solution, or else I'm drying up every droplet in this ocean and my army will walk across and reach Lanka." And then the sea god came out asking, saying, "Trahi, trahi, pahi, pahi." So where we need to show anger, we have to show anger. Where desires have to be generated, it has to be generated. But let us be careful. Kamam, krodham, lobham, tyaktvatmanam pashyati soham. Who can actually understand soham? Soham means saha aham. I am him. So when do I realize this? When I completely get rid of my kama, krodha, and lobha. Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanamaatmanah kamakrodhastatha lobha tasmate tatrayam tyajet. There are 3 gateways to hell: kama, krodha, and lobha. And we have to, by some method, get rid of these 3 things. So, having gotten rid of all these things, Shankara says, your goal has to be the attainment of the realization, self-realization. So, there are 2 aspects here: the goal and the action plan towards that goal. The goal should be good, it should not be skewed. Otherwise, the action plan is also going to be faulty. The goal should be good, the goal is good, but if there is no action plan, it's like a headless chicken. You go directionless and then bang yourself on the wall. So there should be a goal, and that goal should be self-realization. So the goal should be to attain the Brahman. Understand that we are a part and parcel of the Brahman. Imbibe the attributes of the Brahman, not the attributes of a wealthy man or of a kamakami. Kamakami is a person who keeps on replenishing his desires, one desire after another desire after another desire. No. We are not aiming for something ordinary. We are raising our standards high. We are wanting something extraordinary. Today we say, never settle for less. So that applies here also. Don't settle for something very mortal and worldly in nature. Should raise the bars. Aim at the self-realization. Hanuman, he aimed at Surya, not at the mango that was hanging outside his window. And that is why he got Hanu. But in return, he got Surya for a guru. Right? So we should make sure that our goals are on line with the goals of the rishis, who have very immaculately prescribed the goals, so that we escape the vakra drishti of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, and mada, matsarya. Having said this, we see there are a lot of other issues also being faced by us. People face family issues. Relatives are not good. They are hatching plots against us. They are not helpful at times of need. Our spouses, we don't have cordial relationship with our own spouses. Infidelity, disloyalty. What do we do? And Shankara gives his solution in Bhajagovindam. It's not a solution. He gives a question in the form of a solution. He asks us, Kate kanta, kaste putraha, samsaraha ativa vichitraha, tasya tvam kaha kuta ayataha, tatvam chintaya tadiha bhrataha. Says, who's your lover? Who's your wife? Who's your son? Oh, this world is so absurd and weird. Man, where have you sprung from? What is your source? Where have you come from? think about this. In fact, the sage Bhartrhari, the one who wrote Niti Shataka, was once a king who renounced everything after he found out of his disloyal wife. Not that we are glorifying disloyalty, but he understood Shankara's point of Kate Kanta Kaste Putraha. People fall ill, there are various diseases, new ones emerging every new day. So, what is the solution? What does Advaita give as a solution to this roga? Well, the Mula Karana is actually Ragam. Ragam meaning asakti, attachment, passionate attachment. Someone loves sweet, has a big sweet tooth, consumes sweet in huge quantities. What is going to happen? He's going to end up as a diabetic patient. Someone is extremely lazy, they neglect their body. Then the body is also going to neglect health. Someone is under huge mental stress, they're not able to handle, and it is too much. The saturation level has been crossed. What happens? That mental load again gives rise to so many physical problems, skin problems, blood pressure, or if someone of tenable heart receives receives a news that he should not hear, immediate cardiac arrest. So, to be bereft of any roga, we should first give up raga. And there are dissatisfaction upon the non-fulfillment of desires. We find that many desires on a day-to-day basis, they remain unfulfilled. I wanted to buy a 3 BHK, I ended up buying just a 2 BHK. I wanted to buy a few more kurtis, but I couldn't, I had already made a huge hole on my pocket. So many little dissatisfactions every day accumulated. Here we have to understand that Apuryama achala pratishtham samudrama pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantima apnoti na kamakami. This kamakami, desires upon desires upon desires, he can never have peace of mind, let alone the knowledge of Brahman. And when desires upon desires keep on getting generated, what happens? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. For the satisfaction of these desires, we take births. We satisfy unfulfilled desires of the previous births. Some more desires are generated in the current birth. And for that, we take a next birth. And this cycle of birth and death keeps moving, operating in a loop. Now, how do we get out of this? Is the question. There is a dissatisfaction on account of non-recognition of our work. We perform well in our office, in our workplace, everywhere. Or we do charity, we do good work, we volunteer for a great cause, we donate. But then we find that we have not been duly recognized. Or we also find that someone else is recognized, but I have not been recognized. So there is a sense of dissatisfaction. Why should I do it anymore? I don't get anything out of this. And they stop that good work also. Here we should understand that we should be a strong believer of the karma theory. If we have done whatever we have done is good, then definitely good fruits are going to get born. And every jiva that we see comes with its own samskaras. And the degree of samskaras are unknown. It has its own pluses and minuses. So it is not right to expect our good work to be appreciated by another jiva. We should wait for appreciation from the Brahman. In fact, Brahman is the Saguna form of Brahman, the Saguna Brahman. The god is known as the Paripalaka. Krishna calls himself the father of all living spans. He is the seed of all the living. So the father is the Paripalaka. And the job of this great father is to protect his children. And if we are helping that great Krishna in his job by donating, by taking care of another jiva, then we are actually doing the job of Krishna. So it is not right to be expecting appreciation from a fellow jiva when we are doing the job of Krishna himself. And one more, every good work, every work for that matter, has to be done for the sake of that work. For example, someone has got an opportunity to build a temple, and he invests his time and energy and all his good wishes in building the temple. That's it. His work ends there. He can only wish that the temple stays forever. But if something adverse happens, so tsunami, or there is an earthquake, or there's an alien king who comes and bulldozes the temples, he should not sit down depressed, because the fate of that temple is not in his hands. He should feel happy that he had gotten the opportunity to invest his time and attitude and energy in all for a good cause. Even in the pursuit of self realization, what is more important is the journey than the goal of self realization itself. If we keep getting obsessed about self realization, oh, I need to attain self realization, I need to attain the Brahman, or the Brahman, I have to somehow attain that Brahman, I need to know that Brahman, then we are not in any way going to get closer to the Brahman. So silently, steadily, we will follow the action plan, and success one day is certain. Now, there are questions this way also. Yes, people want to take up the path of self-realization, but I don't want to leave my family. I have family duties also. I can't leave the family and go away into the forest, go away into some mountains, sit there and keep doing tapas and penance. I cannot do it. It's going to be very difficult for me. What do I do? So is self-realization for me? Shankara gives a very beautiful, solid reply. Jatilo mundi lunchitakeshaha kashayambara bahukrita veshaha. He says, you shave your head, you don't shave your head, you wear saffron robes, or you wear any robe, or you don't even wear robe for that matter. Everything is simply a disguise, is an external form. What actually matters? What is the stuff inside you? That matters. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharasya uchyate. Krishna gives the definition of a hypocrite. Prima facie, this guy looks like a yogi. He's dressed like a yogi and in the yogic posture. But then what is he thinking of? He's thinking of being a bhogi. Oh, I'll go to this trip. I'll go to that trip. Eat this, eat that. Go here. Enjoy. Idamadhyamaya labdham imam prapsye manoratham idamasti idamapi me bhavishyati punardhanam asau maya hata shatruho. He says he thinks of all the property that he has, all the FD accounts, state bank, whatever money he has got in his state bank, the Swiss bank accounts he has, the properties that he owns in this city, in the other city, in another country, the number of sovereigns, gold sovereigns that he owns. He thinks of all these things in a meditating posture, and he has it in his fingertips. Mam prapsya manoratham. Today my net worth is 10 crores. In just 2 years, I will triple it. It will be 30 crores, you see, he says. Asau maya hataha shatru. He thinks, last week I had this issue with my neighbor. I finished him. I spoke to the counselor and I have gotten my way, he says. This guy, he's a form of an asura. This guy is a huge asura himself. The person who's an asura from inside, but looks like a deva from the outside, is nothing but a hypocrite. Looks like a yogi, but is actually a bhogi. So who is this man? Definitely a rogi, an ill man. And so, what is to be done? The external matter actually isn't that important. To an extent, we have to follow. That is why we have got shastras. Yashastra vidhimutsrijya vartate kamakarataha nasasiddhim avapnoti nasukham naparam gatim. If we don't follow the prescribed shastras, we might not get the intended fruit of the karma. But is it necessary to follow all certain, to be very technical and be follow the hard and fast rules? Are there any hard and fast rules? There might be. But what we have to follow is the spirit behind it and not the basic letter form. This is said in Bhajagovindam. Nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. A grammarian, he thinks, where did this kru dhatu emanate from? What is the source of it? And he thinks and thinks and thinks. And he's almost 90 years, 92 years. In his deathbed, still he's researching on it. And he says, oh grandfather, will this kru dhatu and come and give you sadgati? Should say, Bhaja Govindam, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Shiva Shiva. This is going to give you salvation. Because there is one story of a sannyasi who reared a cat for the sake of nursing a kitten. Now the subsequent sannyasis thought that, to study Vedanta, we are supposed to rear cats. And it became like an implicit or an understood norm. The first sannyasi who initiated this did this out of the karuna that he had for the kitten. So we should also understand for the purpose behind what we are doing. All this said, one student, he goes and asks his guru, Guruji, what is the marga to moksha? And the guru says, my dear, it is bhakti. Now, can the student skip his Vedanta classes and get into bhakti? Answer is partially yes, a partial no also. It depends on the performance of the student. If he gets into full steam bhakti, unflagging devotion, great, superb. But in most cases, what happens? The student does not attain the final destination, but actually has done advanced progress in his spiritual journey. And out of this progress, he has gained certain powers and siddhis. Mahima, Anima, Laghima, Garima. But this guy has missed his Vedanta classes. So his jnana is apurna jnana. And therefore what happens? He is again attracted to kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, and falls down from his exalted state and becomes a patitaha, the fallen man. And it is for this reason that our Sanatanic lifestyle has been engineered in a way which has a mix of both karma, jnana, bhakti, yoga, with emphasis given to one or more items on certain special occasions. In the words of Swami Vivekananda, he says, each soul is potentially divine, and the goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, internal and external. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these and be free. So we should select our eligible path, the one that we can afford to pursue, or select all of them, or completely trust our ancestors and our forefathers and take their footsteps and attain the goal of self realization. Having said so much, what is the key takeaway from this session? No amount of debates or discussions, theorems, meetings is going to help us in getting the realization of the Brahman. So, what we have to do right now is to take solid action. Action is what is primarily required at this hour. Simply thinking and eulogizing about the Brahman is not going to give us. We have to take solid and fine actions towards that. There are many treatises on the goal of self realization, but very few on the actions to attain that goal. And the best of them is Bhajagovindam. Bhajagovindam has been presented by Shankara and is a gift to this whole world. He has decoded Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmahi Vanaparaha, his 3-second answer, into certain simple instructions that any layman can understand. There is a beautiful verse in Bhajagovindam which says, Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati eva. So, a person might be into yoga, a person may be into bhoga, a person may be attached, a person may not be attached. Whosever chitta is on the Brahman, he is happy, he is happy, he is happy. The same verse is said by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajati ekatvam asthitaha sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. He says, one who sees me in everything, sarvatha vartamanopi, whatever he may be doing. He may be a chartered accountant, he may be a doctor, he may be an engineer, a fisherman, a cobbler, a plumber, an electrician, whatever his profession be. He is a part of me, says Krishna. Stating so, I extend my gratitude to Indika Moksha once again for having given this opportunity to me to share my thoughts. And I pray to Adi Shankara Bhagavadpadacharya to always shower his blessings and keep this life prosperous for one and all. Har Har Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva. Dhanyavad.
Thanks, Bhuvaneshwari. What, why, and how aspect of Vedanta, I would say in summary, you described it pretty well. What, why, and how of Vedanta, and what, why, and how of Adyantika Dukkha Nivrutti Paramananda Bhakti, which is called as a moksha, which is the ultimate goal of any spiritual seeker. There were a lot of references from Nisha Panchakam, Bhagavad Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, because it was really very good. Brahmavid Apnoti Param, or Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. All these things were aptly quoted. All these things were, your lecture was based on substantial portions in Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. I'm really very happy that I was in a position to cure this particular lecture. It was really fantastic. Maya Martamidam Sarvam Advaitam Paramarthata Jnate Dvaitam Na Vidyate. Everything came in the lecture. So it was very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Namaskarams.
We have tomorrow morning session at 7 o'clock. The flyer is here. I request everybody to join for tomorrow morning session.